Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, as you can see, we have the newly, freshly wrapped whip behind me. God, that was a bit of a tongue twister there. Wrapped in Lightning Ridge, 500 bhp, stage 3 Golf R. We're gonna take it out for a daylight drive. The last drive I did in this car was, I think, my last video, which was at night. So I want to get some daytime footage so you can really see the wrap pop as well. I mean, oh, it just looks absolutely stunning. The sun's not really out today, it's quite cloudy, but even so, with the daylight, regardless, you do get quite a different effect. But when the sun's out, that's a whole different league entirely, which I'm hoping I'll be able to show you fairly soon. In fact, I'll put a little clip up on screen right now of how it looks when the sun is sort of out. I mean, we're still not summertime yet, but this is when you can see a little bit of light peering through the clouds, and it looks absolutely madness. So as I say, we're gonna go out for a day drive, take it down some country lanes, have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna just, you know, talk you through my experience with the car, how I still feel about it, which, to be honest, my feelings haven't changed. I still absolutely love this thing. And also, I think I want to do a Q&A on this car. So if you've got any questions you want to ask me regarding this car, or have any suggestions regarding future modifications that I should do, let me know in the comment section down below. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a separate Q&A video on this as well to bring to you guys, so I can just like interact with you a little bit more. As you know, I'm always trying to like reply in the comment section and that, but I don't think there's a much better way to interact than doing a Q&A video, so that's going to come soon as well. Decat on a Peugeot. What? Did you hear that? Fucking hell, it's like his exhaust is hanging off. Fuck me. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. We're going to get in the car, we're going to have some fun. I know you're here to see some action, so let's provide. What the fuck's up with that as well? Fucking hell.
Summer solstice got me high, Does it make...
Okie dokie guys, we're gonna head down some country lanes. It's very loud in here, cold start as well, so that's never good, at least for the neighbours. It's good for me, I like it. Alright guys, so hoping you guys can hear me okay. Just wanted to run you through a little bit about where I am with this car right now and how I feel about it. Again, as I said earlier, my feelings haven't really changed. I still absolutely love this thing. So I've had this car for just over a year. Started off sort of around stage 2. Some of the cooling was done, and then I went and further modified the car, and we're here now, stage 3. All modifications include, I've mentioned this before, but just for those of you who don't know, we have a Wagner Front Mount Intercooler, a racing Line R600 Air Intake, we have a hybrid Littco L500 Turbo, it's a custom 3.5 stainless steel straight through exhaust system, absolutely menacing, Scorpion Decat downpipe, and we are obviously our latest cosmetic modification, and in fact really our only cosmetic modification, is this beautiful Lightning Ridge colour shifting wrap by Avery Dennison. And again, thanks to Adept Wrapping down in Cheltenham who sorted me out with this wrap. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I mean, I'm still not bored of this car. I'd say if there's one thing I had to point out that was any negative, but it can't really be a negative because it's my own fault for deciding to do it, is that every now and then on the motorway, the droning of the exhaust can be a little bit of a headache. It can annoy your head slightly, especially if you're just trying to chill out and listen to some music. You have to blast the music right up to be able to hear the music, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, the positives of the straight through exhaust far outweigh the negatives. When you're tunnel blasting, trying to scare people on residential streets. Talking of which, I am working on the scare cam part 2. It is going to be coming as soon as lockdown eases a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, every fun that you get from the sound of this exhaust is totally worth it. Every little bit of fun, and alone the sound turns heads, so you know that's a positive. And now with the wrap, it just matches the aggressive tone of the exhaust system, of the engine, and as well of the speed of this thing, because as I said guys, with stage 3 we're running over 500 brake horsepower, I think around 510, with 630, or to be precise, I think 633.5 or something like that, Newton meters of torque. So you really do feel the pull, especially in first and second gear. I find that's where at about 4,000 or 5,000 RPM maybe in second gear, you feel that optimal sort of torque, and the way the gear ratios are set up, it gives you this lasting sort of feeling in your stomach. Yeah, the fucking thing just flies, to be honest. It absolutely flies. So my feelings haven't changed. It's an animal. I'm currently waiting for my oil temp to actually get up to temperature, so we're not even on 50 degrees yet. Really, before I can start giving it some, I need to wait for it to be on about 80 degrees Celsius ideally. So yeah, I mean, got some people looking at the car now, appreciating the wrap, some old farmer looking type men. Yeah, no, I love this thing. Honestly, at depth again in Cheltenham, absolutely smashed it. The amount of heads this thing turns because of the wrap now is, yeah, outstanding. And to be honest, it's still a daily-able car, if that's even a word. Like, you can daily it. It's got the space. It's quite comfortable inside. The way the seats are set up, it gives you a nice seating position. It makes you feel relaxed. It's not too stiff. You don't get out after a long drive and complain that your back's hurting you. It's everything that you want. It's got the speed, it's got the practicality. I mean, it's not amazing on fuel, but if you are driving it sensibly, like I am now, if you are in eco mode and you're sort of just cruising along, you can get some fairly decent MPG. I mean, I took a trip somewhere a few days ago, which was about 2.5 hours on the motorway, and I was just sort of averaging, you know, 70 miles an hour as you do, and I think I managed to get my average MPG up to about 38.5 or something like that, which is pretty damn good. I mean, most of the time when I am in race and I'm having a bit of fun round the local ends, like, I'll only be getting about, I don't know, I'll be lucky to see 17, 18 to be fair. Most times, you know, even lower if I am actually purposely, as I say, giving it some. But nah, it's a great all-round car. Fuel is expensive though. I do have to put 99 in just because of the power that it's running and the way everything is set up. So trying to preserve the lifespan of this engine now. And again, for those of you who don't know, the piston shot out of my old block. I had to source a new engine. We're currently running a CJX engine rather from an Audi S3, and yeah, that's sort of where we're at. I do love this car. I do really like this car, guys. Gonna wait for the oil to get up to temperature, give it a little bit of acceleration, and then gonna get some drive-by shots, get the drone out maybe. We're down some beautiful country lanes, so let's capture a vibe. Alright guys, oil's getting up to temperature, so I'm going to flick it into race mode. Nice little bit of overrun there, some nice pops and bangs. ESC is off as standard procedure. Full driving experience. Cyclist in front of me, so I'm not going to hoon it here. I'm not going to try and write him off. Yeah, you know what, flick into manual as well. Let's get some downshifts. Let's provoke those pops and bangs. Nice. Disturbing the peace in these quiet areas. Certainly feel the torque, that's for sure. The torque, that was second gear, and that's exactly what I mean. I mean, you can't really feel it because you're watching the video, but I hope it sort of translates on camera. Second gear, you really do feel that pull. Yeah, second gear again, and that's definitely where the optimal torque is. It's where you just feel it the most. I could never get bored of that sound. I can never get bored of that sound, that's for sure. Also, one interesting thing to point out is that I don't have upgraded brakes. These are the stock brakes. They're new, they are fresh. Admittedly, I burnt out my previous set pretty quickly from hooning it around. But yeah, stock brakes on at the moment. And if you don't brake too late, if you are cautious and you are wary with your braking and you anticipate, I think they do the job fine. Yeah, I mean, ceramics, EBCs, whatever, like, might be worth getting. Some bigger brakes and some bigger piston calipers, some bigger pot calipers might be worth upgrading to, but I personally haven't felt like I've needed to just yet. There are a lot of people on their walk today. A lot of people are making the most of this Saturday. Hello friends. Oh, we've just gone past a pub called, well, it's right there actually, a pub called the Cock Inn. So yeah, great name. I'm going to do pull in third gear, and you're going to see that the torque isn't, well, you're going to see, I guess technically you are seeing because you're watching the video, but yeah, the torque isn't as, still there, don't get me wrong, like it's still hell of a pull, but it isn't quite as powerful as second gear. Second gear you do get optimal pull from. Optimal pull, I like the terms that I'm coming up with today. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the 4Motion system is absolutely beautiful. You feel so in control of this car, and the way the chassis performs around corners, it almost feels like it's working perfectly in harmony with your steering, and it just cruises and glides along corners. You've got no real issues. It doesn't feel like you're trying to fight the steering or fight the weight of the car. There is this feeling of beautiful balance within all aspects in terms of how this car performs. It is glorious. It's an absolutely glorious thing. I love it. I just absolutely love it. Again, DSG on my car, that for me that for me is a must. I know a lot of you manual hardcore fans will be saying, ah, you should have got a manual, nah. DSG, purely because of how well this thing shifts and you get quicker 0 to 60s with the DSG. It's just on point. It's absolutely on point. Then letting the DSG do its thing, and yeah, it fucking flies, no question about that whatsoever. I love this car. I don't know how much more I can really, you know, emphasize how much I love it, or what necessarily there is more to talk about it. Guys, as I said earlier in the video, please as well drop your questions in the comment section. I'll do a Q&A on this car. We're gonna get some little cinematics, get the drone out, I think, get some cruising shots. I mean, I might have even thrown them in there a little bit earlier, integrated them with the talking shots, but yeah, that's what I need to do my end right now, is pull over and actually get the drone out. Get the Ronin M out too, get the stabilizer out, get some nice cinematics. Guys, wicked car. Like, I'm not just saying that because I own it. It is probably, or most definitely, my favourite car I've owned. A close second would be the GT86. Like, it almost pars alongside this in terms of how much fun I had with it. And bearing in mind, guys, the GT86 was only about 200 brake, so that credits where it's due. Like, for a car that's only about 200 brake from factory, I still had so much fun in that car. The GT86 was an awesome car, but this is like a sort of league of its own in many different ways. And yeah, I do like all-wheel drive cars, and I want to be rallying in an all-wheel drive car. I want to jump into an R5 car, or man, I'd love to jump into a world rally car straight away, but we know that's not going to happen. It's going to take some time to build my way up into that category. But yeah, what a monster this thing. What an absolute monster this thing is, guys. Yeah, let me know what questions you want me to answer for the future video. Right, me and Dan, as you can probably see his arm in frame, we're gonna there he is. He's shut himself. He don't like speed. He's gonna get out, he's gonna get the drone out, give himself, you know, a little bit of fresh air, so before he peeks everywhere on my dash, and get some nice little cinematics and drone footage.